Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good to be with you again, in spirit, that is, since you can only hear my voice. Today, the misunderstanding that men have that they are capable, or that some of their cousins are capable of implanting life on this planet. I have to confess that I am extremely annoyed by that. Probably more than annoyed. Because if they understood the process that is involved in implanting life on any planet, and if they had the sufficient humility and simplicity to understand who they are, they probably would never even dare to utter such words. There is a misunderstanding out there that some alien civilization has implanted life on Earth. It's been running around quite a good number of years. I've heard it when I was younger. I've been hearing it for a long time, and I never was able, even in my state of unconsciousness, I would say, I never have been able to truly agree with that particular concept or idea, because I never thought that such an incredible process could have had anything to do with any beings on any planet. So, yes, life has been implanted on this planet, and most of the time has been implanted on most other planets. But it has nothing to do with aliens, intra or terrestrial beings, extraplanetary beings, nothing of that sort. Life has always have to do with creators' activities. Nothing that we do is outside of creators' endeavors. We have to understand that. But because of, I suppose, man's ego has been inflated so much to a point where he or she even cannot even see themselves. That's how inflated the ego is. And that has been always the main problem for them. For some people, going to school, obtaining a degree, having a master degree, having a doctorate degree, usually is not favorable to their sanity. Somehow, due to the ignorance of most people, they think that they are the it. You can add to it. Usually, those are the effects of a superinflated ego. Men, in their intellectual quest, somehow tend to believe that their intellect is capable of even coming close to understanding the source of its own being. It is a laughable matter in itself. The celestial probably include that many times in their jokes, because they do joke. It's a laughable matter when you understand it from a descending point of view. Ladies and gentlemen, let me go back a little, and we're going to go straight down into the implantation of life on this earth. At the beginning of everything, at the very beginning, and that is to somehow have an idea of time, since we cannot understand anything if it has no beginning. But I must state that God, Source, Father Source, has no beginning, nor does it have an end. That's all we can understand intellectually. Because we understand things sequentially, we're gonna say, for logic's sake, for understanding's sake, that God has a beginning. Creator, Source, Father, Mother, Source. So at the beginning, God somewhat came to the realization that it has to divide itself, not divided in terms of division that we understand it here, because nothing can be taken away from God. But it gave expression to a son, an eternal son like him, omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent being. Once that creative aspect took place, and very close to that, we had the beginning or the creation of the infinite spirit, a third deity, and that completed the trinitization of God in itself. 3 was the maximum. God the Father, the source, God the Mother, Son, the eternal Son, and God the sister or brother, child, infinite spirit. And from there you had the Isle of Paradise, the center where all divine activities take place. Okay. There were 7 created spirits that came out of, or that the infinite created. And I also have to mention quickly that the Havana worlds, the billion worlds, humongous, extremely monstrous in their size, spheres that immediately appeared surrounding the isle of the 21 spheres of the infinite spirit, the eternal Son and Father source. And then surrounding that, somewhat of a belt of dark matter. And in the far distant presence of the Trinity, in time and space appeared 7 super universes. And at their head, you had the Ancient of Days. You heard mentioning of the 21 ancients, or Ancient of Days, or ancient 21 ones in the Bible somehow, somewhere. I don't remember the exact location. Those are the elders, the very ancient, hence their name, Ancient of Days. They are of the Order of Days. Those are the ones conducting the affairs of the 7 super universes. There are 3 of them per super universe, hence 21, 7 times 3. So in time and space, trillions upon trillions upon trillions of years ago, it's a number really not comprehensible to anyone. Even the celestials, many of them do not know where the beginning. That's why I said it's never ending. Then you had creation starting to take place outside of the Isle of Paradise. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, paradise is not from here. The paradise you hear mention of, the 7 heavens, is much lower than that, and I will somehow talk about it in due time. In our super universe, Orvington, our own little smaller corner of space was created by the children of the Trinity. When Father, Source, and the Eternal Son combine their creative prerogatives, some of their children appear immediately. Those are the Creator sons, the ones who are to become the gods of the local universes. They descend from paradise after their training to the time of space and the space of time to establish their own creation. And I have to say that there is a consort of the Creator Son that immediately is born, created, who accompanies the Creator Son to their chosen location in space and time to create their own creation. And eventually, our little corner of space, the Creator Son and the Mother Spirit created the local universe of Nebadon. And at that particular point, the Creator Sons and the Creator Son and the Mother Spirit started before they created the spheres of inhabitable space. They had to create their own children. A few of the children that are revealed to us in the order I'm going to say it, those are the Melchizedek children, or the Melchizedek order. Then you have the Vorondadek order, and then the Lanonandek order, and then you have the life carriers themselves. Those are the local descending sons of God, the very administrators that will, in the eternity of time, conduct the administration of the local universe of Nebadon as it has been done by other Creator Sons and Mother Spirits in other local universes. Our planet eventually was conceived. Its name is given by the Celestial as Urantia. There was a revelation that was given to men through a manual, a book, called the Urantia Book. You can go ahead and investigate it yourself. Those revelations were given in time. This was what they call the 5th epochal revelation. The first one was the arrival of a Vorondadek sun on this planet called the Planetary Prince, years and years and years ago. And then after the planet was ready, there came the arrival of the material sons and daughters. Those are their orders. The material sons and daughters were created exclusively by the creative act of the Creator Son by himself. He created a dual being called the material sons and daughters, male and female. Adam and Eve were of that order. Those are the biological uplifters. After that, after a few thousands of years of development, when the planet is ready, we're supposed to have the arrival of a magisterial son on the planet, but such was not the case in our history. Instead, at one particular time after the Lucifer rebellion, it was deemed necessary to send a descending son, a divine son, to this planet on an emergency basis. Hence, you had the arrival. Yes, it was an incarnation, but not in the sort that you understand. Makiventa, the Melchizedek son, came to the planet, was materialized by techniques of materialization that you ignore or you don't know about as of yet, to this planet on an emergency basis. By the way, Adam and Eve also were materialized on this planet because they came from above, from their own sphere of inhabitable planet, and were materialized here. They were in seraphim, slept through the process of the travel, and were materialized here. We had a unique event that occurred on this planet. As if you remember, I said that each local universe has at its head the Creator Son and the Mother Spirit. When each local universe is completed, it has to have approximately 10 million planets in it. The Creator Son has to go through a process of proving himself to his creation, and is supposed to take or bestow himself upon 7 kinds, or of 3 sorts, or 3 phases: material, morontial, spiritual. He has to incarnate as one of his children in order to prove that he is a very compassionate, loving, and understanding leader, or father, or God to his creation. So 7 times he has to go through the process of incarnating as one of his children. The last one, the 7th one, concludes the sovereignty of the Creator Son. Hence he become a master son. Among what will become 10 million planets, inhabitable planets, he chose this small planet called Urantia. Only once does he do that in his local universe. He chose that 7th bestowal to be on this planet. That was the best and incomprehensible act that we can be privy of. Look what we've done with him. We murdered him. He was not supposed to die of a cruel death, but that's what happened on this planet. He could have lived till he was done and then somewhat let the body die a natural death, because he had to go through the entire process of incarnation. So death is part of that process. We have to die to begin the ascent in this immense, immense, immense creation. The life implantation that you're talking about that is done by the aliens is nothing else but an inflated idea by some intellects, or intellectuals, I should say, who value themselves too much. Life could not be implanted by any other beings coming from out of space, from any neighboring planets. Life is done, all of it. And in this case, let's talk about the thousands or the millions of inhabitable planets in this local universe of Nebudan that have life on their surface. It cannot be done but by those brothers and sisters who work hard and always comply with their task, the life carriers. Those are the children of Creator Son, the Mother Spirit, and one of the Ancient of Days located at the headquarters of our super universe of Arvanton. It is fitting that the Ancient of Days are the only one who can extinct life. They can terminate a life forever. It is fitting that they are connected to the very agents who implant life on planets. The life carriers themselves, as their name indicates, can only carry the tools, what constitute life. But the germplasm itself can only be instilled by Nebudonia through them. When I say Nebudonia, I'm talking about the Mother Spirit. That's the name of the Mother Spirit of our local universe of Nebudon. Those life carriers, as I said before, are the geneticists that are totally specialized in doing that, implanting life on the millions of planets of their local universe. And since our planet is a 10th planet, every 10th planet is called a decimal planet. Usually that means that the life carriers somewhat or have some liberties to modify the way in which life is implanted here. So there are modifications that you're going to find here that are not on the normal non-decimal planet. Even when you have a non-decimal planet or normal planets, that doesn't mean they're exactly the same. They follow the same protocols, yes, but still there are some variations. That is how life is implanted on those planets, ladies and gentlemen. I understand it is very appealing when those intellectuals, those who are not humble enough, those who are not simple enough, who are allowing the titles get to their head and therefore lose their mind. You have to analyze, always give a specific attention to the ones who are calling or are attaching themselves to that specific theory. Those are not the ones who truly understand what life is about. I understand they have titles, they have credentials from their peers and things of that sort. That means absolutely nothing compared to what Father does, or compared to what the administrators and the other agents do. They are the knowing ones. Here, we are at the very beginning of life, no matter how much of an intellectually advanced person you are. Trust me, your advancement is only an illusion when you compare it to the vast amount of understanding, knowledge in creation itself. It dwarfs your small ego completely, if you even get to understand that. The mind that you are giving sacred understanding to, or sacred importance to, is nothing but the circuit of your mother spirit assigned to you. The data, the understanding, the knowledge that you so much attach importance to is nothing but a part of the circuit, the cosmic circuit of creation that is given or propagated by the master spirits of each super universe. You have to understand who you are. You have to understand what makes you a human being. You have constitutive elements that you have to study, analyze. We tend to dissect the person into mind, body, and soul. Well, we have to understand what each means. Where do they have their beginning from? Where do they stem from? What are they? What is their utility? What is their purpose? What is the logical understanding behind its own creation? So, ladies and gentlemen, those who have higher degrees, I understand it's very fitting to you. It's very, it gives you an importance that you probably deserve when it comes to going to school and learning. Yes, it's yours. You have utilized that circuit properly. But trust me, it is nothing to boast about. It is for you to place it in the service of humanity because it's not really yours, after all, when you understand it. So please, I know how much it costs you to become humble, to become simple. But trust me, you will learn immensely once you learn how to control the ego. By the way, love is given to you no matter what, so there is no shame. All right? We all here to learn. We are children of an infinite creator. Trust me, you'll understand. When you understand what that means, your eyes will always be amazed at what your sight will become able to grasp. You will always be in amazement at creation. So please, be in service to your Creator. That's all you can do for your Creator. That's the only thing you can give to Creator, is doing the will of your Creator. Everything is within its grasp. Everything is contained within Creator's hands. So it is. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attention. We shall speak with you soon again. Have a safe journey. Brothers and sisters, please share your comments and do not forget to hit the notification button and subscribe. We sincerely appreciate your participation. Thanks for watching.